Hello, Barmy Badger Army.
Hey,
Hope
Badger
you're all well,
Army.
guys. Welcome to today's show. Yes, apologies, there wasn't two on the benches this week, but it was horrid weather conditions the other day, so we were unable to film.
We've been drowned out by rain. How bad would that have been?
I know, it's terrible, but on today's show, there is...
International Men's Day. We'll be chatting about children in need.
Ah, yes.
Because why not? And stuff that you definitely shouldn't get up to on YouTube.
Yes, that's very true, and there's a lot of those. I think we'll start with that first, Nick, actually. We'll talk about some of the things you shouldn't do on YouTube. And there's a cornucopia of them. There was the condom challenge, which was rather bizarre, where people were literally choking.
Yes.
There was the guy that I think it was last Christmas decided to super glue a microwave to his head, inside his head. There was, of course, the Tide Pod challenge, which we talked about on an old video. There's been loads of weird ones, but now there's a new one, the Set Yourself on Fire challenge, apparently, Nick informs me.
Which is absolute, which, you know, no one in their right mind should do at any time.
Why would you think this is a good idea?
There was actually a story in the news the other day of, back in August, a 12-year-old girl in Detroit actually ended up in hospital with 49% burns.
That's a lot. That is a lot of burns. Like
that's half your body.
That's nearly half her body alight. That is a really bad thing. That is so bad. So some of these challenges, I get that people want to make things more original. I get to things people want to make them so they can watch them. I mean, Logan Paul did some disastrous things, but he's, you know, it's a horrible things that he's done, but people have watched them, they've gravitated towards them, so I understand why people do it. They try and make it more extreme and extreme each time, but it's not good for you, and it's not good for other people's safety or your own. That's the thing, it's mad. Why would you want to set yourself alight? Why would you think it'd be a good idea to put a condom up your nose? Why would you think it'd be a good idea to eat chemicals that are meant to wash clothes? I don't get it. Do you, Nick?
No.
It's mad.
The only thing, I mean, some people are saying, you know, let them do it and let natural selection take its toll, which I can sort of understand. But there's also a degree of peer pressure.
Yes,
you know?
this is very true.
I mean, you know, some of the stuff I think we were, you know, I mean, obviously we were from a different generation.
This is true.
You know,
the
we had our own version of peer pressure.
Yes,
back then,
the only thing that I used to get peer pressure to do was go down the park and drink beer, and I always said no thanks.
Mine was I was always encouraged to start fights with people.
Really? Okay.
Yes, I didn't myself.
No.
I didn't in the end. And you know, if people are trying to encourage you to do that, then it's not worth the aggro.
Well, this is very true. This is very true. Don't do anything until you yourself are naturally ready.
Yeah.
It'd be a good example of that.
You know, but yeah, if it makes you, if people are trying to pressure you to do these kinds of things, then they aren't worth your time.
Exactly, Nick.
Quite simply.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
so yeah. So getting back on point, I understand why people do these things on YouTube, but you have to think about the safety level. Are you going to put yourself or others in danger? If so, it's not worth it.
Exactly.
You know, there was lots of things. There was even a thing a while back where they were turning Crayola crayons into makeup and doing tutorials on that. And obviously, Crayola crayons and things like that aren't meant to be melted. So there was all sorts of weird chemicals.
They might be going like quite easy to melt because they're wax.
But there's other things inside there that, there was other things inside there. There's more to it than that. And there was more ingredients and things like that in there that aren't meant to be like on your skin like that. They're not meant to be melted. It's so bizarre. Why would people think this is a good idea? Comment below and let us know what weird and wonderful challenges on YouTube you've heard of that you thought, surely not. What will we be talking about next, Nick?
Monday, the 19th, was International Men's Day.
Oh, okay, yes.
Which is a good thing to remind anyone when International Women's Day happens
on the 8th
of March.
This is very true.
Oh, when's International Men's Day? It's November the 19th.
And we'll be doing a special episode on it next time, no doubt.
We will. And it's a good opportunity for men to be, you know, open about, you know, what affects men. You know, when you consider that at least three quarters of people who commit suicide are men, and men are more likely to be unemployed.
This is true.
Have various learning difficulties,
mental health issues,
you know, and you know, it's just, and there's this awful phrase "man up," which has been put out by a lot of people who really should know better.
This is true. Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but I'm glad it's sort of going away slightly now.
You know, there's a backlash against it now, and I think it's more important than ever to be open about your mental health.
This is true.
You know, I mean, we talk very openly about our own mental health struggles.
It's very liberating. Very liberating.
Yes, you know, and it is so, you know, and it's so much better than, you know, just keeping it bottled up. And
yeah, I am definitely of the school of, if you need to talk to someone, find someone you trust, find a safe environment, talk to people about it, and let it out. It's a lot easier than bottling it up, and you know, bottling it up makes it worse, really. I find. It does. But you know, that's my school of thought. I might be wrong, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. And you know, there's a lot of things like the other day, you know, there was a whole thing of like, oh yeah, you shouldn't ask a woman their age. I heard somebody the other day say you shouldn't ask an adult their age, and I think that's far better. So why should it just be women that feel awkward about disclosing their age? Men might do as well, and I'm glad that that's being noticed in the general public. That was on the bus on the way home the other day. I heard someone say that.
Interesting.
So very interesting. So that was quite an interesting point there, that people are noticing that, you know, not everyone wants to talk about their age and that, which is fine, but it was just the language that the person used, that it wasn't inclusive to just women. It's everyone has the right to not talk about it and make themselves feel old and all that sort of stigma that comes with revealing your age, I guess.
Yes, and that's a very good point. You know, it's good. It's you know, it's good that it's good to not make assumptions about people. There is a lot more. You know, there's a lot more to people, and what I like about something like International Men's Day, I did a long post about it on my Instagram. You know, where I just wanted to say to my fellow menfolk, you know, you matter, your health matters, and your physical and mental health matter as well.
That's it. And I think that does mean a lot to people, doesn't it? Where they can sort of have somewhere to talk to, someone to actually listen to what they're saying and register it in. I think that's important. You know, there's that whole thing of, you know, it's a very old-fashioned attitude, really, that men shouldn't talk about their problems and disclose it, and I think that's where a lot of gambling and alcoholism issues come into play, because they feel that they can't talk about it, so they have to use other avenues to release the tension or the feelings, or
I think a lot,
whatever you might feel.
I think the whole one of the main themes of the movie Fight Club, which was one of the big films at the end of the 90s.
Yes, very good.
It was known for its very strange storyline.
Yes, it was a very interesting mystery thriller. I love Fight Club. It's still one of my favourite films to this day.
But yeah, a lot at the heart of it was men trying to prove their masculinity, and it had a huge backlash when it was first released.
Right, yes.
Relating to that.
Did it? I don't remember that.
Yeah, I mean,
tell us a bit more about that.
I do remember someone. I mean, okay, it was someone writing in the Daily Mail, but it was. But I think you have to look beyond that. I think in the late 90s, I remember, you know, every representation of men in adverts, in sitcoms.
That's right.
In a lot of places on TV, you're this hapless husband, you're this embarrassing dad, you know.
Or you're the beefy stereotype.
Yeah, and it was, and you know, I was just like, and you know, my young impressionable Aspie self was like, is this what I've got to look forward to?
No, it's not. Yeah, but the thing is, because the TV was such a big part of our generation, we were feeding off of the mass market, weren't we?
Yeah.
And you know, there's the whole thing about the Spice Girls, you know, girl power.
Yeah.
Well, I believe they're going to be doing something slightly different this time around. It's going to be like, you know, human power and stuff like that.
They talk a lot more about people power, which I think they
People
started
power,
talking
yes.
after a while anyway. To be honest with you, I think a lot of the stuff that the Spice Girls didn't necessarily come from them personally. A lot
But
of
it was a positive,
twisted round.
yeah, it was a positive movement, but I think times have changed now, and I'm pleased that they're going to be doing the people power type stuff.
Yeah, I think
so,
it's good as well.
because it's like everyone's included, so let's bring up everyone and, you know, make everyone's day better,
Yeah.
not just like a one gender or a gender stereotype. So that's interesting, there, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
that's a good. So yeah, you know, I think it's good. I'm glad that you know, something like International Men's Day is getting more awareness, because
me too.
I think, you know,
I think it is important for everyone to realise about the different things, not only men or women, but everyone goes through whatever. You know, I think it's very interesting that there's all these different days and they are good. But is there a problem that there's too many? I don't know yet, but I just hope that the awareness days are helping. And they are working. What do you think, Nick? Do you think the awareness days work? Do you think it's a good strategy to help people?
I think it's a starting point.
It's a
you know.
starting point,
It's
and I
not gonna
agree with you there.
You know, it's not going to single-handedly change things with one day a year.
No,
you know?
this is the thing. This is my idea. It's like, why is it only one day a year? But I'm the same with Christmas. I want more Christmas, so I want more days like that.
So yeah, it's kind of like, so it's a, you know, it's a starting point. You know,
It's very interesting.
It's a focal point. You know, it's something that, you know, for schools and colleges, something that they can specifically focus on.
That's great. I
It's
like that
something
idea.
that,
Yes.
You know, it's something that they can focus on in workplaces. You know, that's something that they can. You know, it's all things. You know that. You know, it gives us a focal point, and maybe it's something that we can take away from that.
And I think, yeah, as long as you take away from it and hold it with you the whole year through, I think that's great. I think if you just like had it one day a year, I think that's, you know, a bit of a negative. I think if you carry the message all the time, I think it's the same with Valentine's Day and things like that. You know, why be nice to your partner one day a year? I think it should be like as much as possible. But yes, so what are we on about next, Nick? We're going to be talking about children in need and our favourite memories.
What are our memories of children in need? I mean, children in need's been going a long time. It's had a bit of a backlash recently.
Really? Tell us about that.
Because the latest thing on social media is, imagine that you have one chocolate bar in your fridge.
Okay.
Imagine that someone else has 100 chocolate bars in their fridge, and the person with 100 bars tells you that you should give your one chocolate bar to a needy child. But I do think it's I think that's kind of why there's a bit of a backlash against charities.
But it all
charities
depends.
do a
Yeah.
good work.
But it all depends. Like a lot of people were saying, like, yeah, but you only afford to what you give to what you can afford to give. But if that person can afford to give that one chocolate bar, if they feel that they can afford it, then maybe they could. But does the person with 100 chocolate bars give that away too? This is what you got to think about. I think you should only give what you can. I don't think you should ever be in a situation where you make yourself poor or destitute or in trouble for giving to charity. I think if you can afford to do it, I think you should. But I don't think you should get yourself in trouble for it. What are your thoughts?
I would say that's about right. But yeah, it's kind of same. But yeah, some people think it's a bit silly when you've got all this. They find it maybe a bit silly, a bit old-fashioned when they see all these celebrities on TV saying, "Everyone, give your money." But
okay, I get where you're coming from a bit more now. But yeah, but they're, you know, obviously they're trying to promote the charity. Obviously they've hopefully given as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully they will be able to as well. My hand hurts.
And one thing that I will say is that it's good that celebrities use their star power as a force for good.
This is true, and this is where I think people maybe are forgetting about what it's about. You know, I think, you know, they're not doing it for selfish reasons. They're not getting paid, at least I don't think they are, for their appearances on there, so they're doing it out of their goodwill, and they're also hopefully giving to the charity as well. So I can see why there is a force for good, but I can also see why people are a bit negative towards it. Probably they just see it as the celebrities going on there to promote themselves, but hopefully that's not the case, and hopefully they are sort of doing it to promote the charity. And yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag with charity work, isn't it? I would definitely say give what you can afford to give, but don't get yourself in trouble over it. Definitely not.
It's what Terry Wogan would have wanted.
Exactly.
Remember him on?
Oh, I do
him
remember
and Sue
Terry.
Cook on Children in Need.
Oh goodness me! And I think those were the golden years, definitely, with Children in Need. You know, Terry Wogan and things like that. I think he spent a lot of time working with the Children in Need team, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He was like the face of it every year.
It's brilliant. And I do think, you know, Badger Jr. loves Pudsey and things like that. I think it's great. And I think a lot of my memories are from him enjoying the Pudsey stuff and all that sort of thing. You know, what about you, Nick?
I think a lot. I do remember a lot of that. I remember. I don't have a lot of specific memories of stuff that was going on, largely because I get it confused with Comic Relief.
I was going to say I nearly mentioned Lenny Henry at least 3 times in that sentence, but no.
But
he does.
He was Comic Relief.
Comic Relief
Might still be Comic Relief.
I think so. I believe he does still pop in there and every now and again. And is it his ex-wife Dawn, or are they still together?
I think they've split up now, sadly.
That's a shame. Yeah, Dawn French, one of my favourite comedians as well. I'm sure she's been on it quite a lot as well.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Children in Need apparently made a. Apparently they raised something like 50 million.
Exactly. So that's great then, isn't it? So even
Post
though there was a
donations.
bit of a backlash, they did do really well then. That's good.
Yes, you know. So they still, and so yeah, you know, it's nice that people do. I think sometimes we become a bit too over-reliant on charities to do kind of like work that the government doesn't want to do, but that's another conversation entirely.
Most definitely. Definitely. And you know, it's just one of these things, isn't it, where I'd love to talk a little bit about homeless people and things like that, and their thoughts and things like that. I think we did last year as well, around about this time in the cold. So, you know, if you have a spare moment just to even chat to someone and make sure they're okay, that is worth more than anything. You know, just making sure you know that these people are around and they're alive and that they're, you know, in the situation they're in. Sometimes a good old chat is better than giving money or food or anything.
Absolutely.
So thanks very much for watching, guys. And let us know your thoughts on Children in Need and your memories below, because it is an interesting topic about charity and ideas and things like that. And this time of the year is very cold, so, you know, make sure you wrap up warm and look after yourselves.
Your heat sources.
See you later, Barmy Badger Army. Look after yourselves.
Bye.
And I'll see you soon. Look after yourselves, guys, and comment below what you're going to get up to, either for Children in Need or Red Nose Day or whatever you're up to. And let us know your thoughts on International Man's Day. And of course, what did we talk about at the start of the show?
Stuff you shouldn't do on YouTube.
Exactly. So let us know in the comments. Bye for now, Barmy Badger Army.
Bye.
See you later on, guys. Bye.